Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode. Now, earlier this evening, the news broke that the Phoenix Suns have parted ways with Monty Williams and now enter the market for a new head coach. This news has got a lot of Suns fan torn right now. It's a pretty big decision, especially, with the guy who has led us to the finals in 3 playoff appearances in a row. Monty Williams is a great coach. I'll say that right now. Monty Williams, watching him work, watching him, seeing how he coaches, he's a great guy. He's a great coach. And people will probably be surprised to hear me say that I am in favor of the firing of Monty Williams. Now, they'll probably be surprised because I speak so highly of Monty Williams. I'm not one of these fans you'll see saying, Monty Williams sucks and this and that. And I don't prefer when something goes bad for the head coach to be the scapegoat for everything. And he's not. Monty Williams is not the scapegoat. He's not the problem. I'm not going to say he's the problem, like he's the only problem. But some of the things he did kind of hold us back. And I'll get into that. But before I say that, or get into why I think he's holding us back, I just want to emphasize that Monty Williams is a good coach. I love Monty Williams. He's a great coach. He was a great coach for us. I loved having him here. He was amazing. But also, coming from a Suns fan who has watched every game, every playoff game, and seen a lot more and seen things that other people don't, Monty Williams, if you look at all the playoff series we've lost, this is from Milwaukee, Dallas, and Denver, we have been outcoached. We had a 2-0 lead against Milwaukee. What happened? We blew it. Now, was it all Monty Williams? No. But we were outcoached. They came out with a strategy to beat the Suns. We did not answer. Dallas. And Dallas, who was a team that had no business beating us. I don't care what people think. Doncic is a great player. Him alone had no business beating the Phoenix Suns. And a Phoenix Suns who had a 60-plus season. They had little to no height on that team. And they managed to find a way to blow a 2-0 lead. We had a 2-0 lead again. And we blew it. You know why? Because we treated it like it was regular season. We had something and it was working, and we stuck to it. I guess under the impression that Jason Kidd was not going to answer back. And when Jason Kidd drew something different, came out with an effective strategy to beat the Phoenix Suns, we did not answer. Our coaching staff did not answer. And that is what killed the Suns. And let me reiterate that Monty Williams is not the sole problem. There's still a lot more problems that needs to be addressed. Monty Williams did not cause the downfall of the Suns these past 3 years. But again, his lack or his inability to answer it's killed us. Look at Denver. Denver, who is a good team. Denver's, they're the number 1 seed for a reason. They're a great team. They picked apart our Phoenix Suns team, and a team that was loaded with talent. This year we had Durant, Booker, CP3, DeAndre Ayton, and we just, we played good. Look at the first two games. First two games, we were down 2-0, and we came out with something new. It was the only time I've seen Monty Williams take control and say, we're going to change the course of this series. And we did. We won 2 games. We figured out a way to stop the Nuggets. And it came from, wasn't stopping Jokic. It was stopping the players around Jokic to maximize. You know, we couldn't afford Porter dropping 20 points. We couldn't afford KCP dropping 20 points. And you look at what happened in Game 6, that happened. These role players, they were dropping those kind of points, and we got humiliated. But in those 2 games where we were down and we tied the series, it was amazing. Monty Williams looked like he was coaching. We knew what to do. But then after that, after we tied up the series, it all fell apart. Again, we had no answer. I feel like we were under the assumption that the Nuggets weren't going to answer. It makes no sense. Did we not think that the Nuggets weren't trying to win this series? I mean, they were trying to win the series too. And when we were down 2-0, there was a lot of issues with rotation. And I think the fans finally complained enough to Monty Williams. And it made him realize, it's like, okay, I got to fix some of these rotations. Because in Game 1 and 2, we were putting in guys who were just making no contributions at all. Landry Shamet playing more minutes than Terrence Ross. It was ridiculous. Landry Shamet, who I want gone. Yeah, he had that one clutch game. I want him gone. But Terrence Ross is a great player. I mean, he was damn near a starter in Orlando. And we were giving Shamet minutes like he's the 6th man of the year. He's buns. He's terrible. Defensively, offensively, I mean, we use him for his perimeter shooting, and he wasn't even doing that. He did, come alive. I think, Game 4, he had that incredible run, 4 out of 5 threes, and I think he hit 3 threes in a row. But that was it. That was his peak, and he fell off badly. But those games, Game 1 and 2, our rotations were garbage. Jock Landale didn't even play a single minute. Busy? I don't even know if he was on the floor. TJ Warren? Now TJ Warren wasn't really playing that good anyway, but he brought something defensively to the team. But, with the Clippers, the previous series, Lando didn't play a single minute outside of Game 1, I think. I think he came in for Game 1, and that was it. And after we started to put in Lando, we realized that he was bringing a life to the Suns that we needed. He was bringing energy, he was bringing aggressiveness, he was bringing hustle, and that was a tremendous part of our 2 victories. But then after that, we just, again, we felt entitled to win. And that I think that's where Monty Williams failed as a head coach. Did he fail completely as a head coach? No. If he was a bad head coach, we would have never gone to the finals. We would have never had a 60-plus game win season. And we wouldn't have made the playoffs this year. If he was really a bad coach, none of that would have happened. He is not good enough to get us over the hump. And that's what fans can't accept that. I sentimental value aside, and because I'm really fond of Monty Williams. After these past 4 years, you start to grow attached to some of these guys, and I did with Monty Williams. But after suffering 2 humiliating losses in a row at our home court, you have to realize some changes have to be made. And it did have to begin with Monty Williams. Now, I'm not well-versed in replacements for coach and how it all works in the NBA. I know enough to hold my ground. But a report came out just, 10, 15 minutes ago, that the Suns are heavily pursuing Ty Lue. Now, I want to talk about Ty Lue and what he did to this Phoenix Suns team. There's a reason we want him. Monty Williams, like I said before, failed to get us over the hump, not only in games or in series that we won or lost, but in series that we won. We could not have won that series against the Clippers if their star players were on the floor. They had Russell Westbrook, and don't get me wrong, Russell Westbrook is a great player, but he is not the Russell Westbrook we used to know, the OKC Westbrook. I mean, this is a guy who last year had the most slander in the NBA. People weren't even calling him by his last name. They changed his last name out of slander. And Ty Lue figured out how to make him work again. Norman Powell dropped 40-plus points on us. He took a battered, injured squad. And we won in 5. Okay? If Kawhi Leonard was in for those games, I don't even know if we would have played Denver. Would have been the Clippers playing Denver. Ty Lue outcoached Monty Williams. And I know it. People are going to say, Ty Lue's a great coach. He's a finals winning NBA coach. I get it. He outcoached Monty Williams with a horrendous squad. There's no reason why Norman Powell, and I'm not saying these guys are terrible or anything, but they made Norman Powell look like an all-NBA superstar. And the only reason we came out of that series alive is because we had enough talent on that floor to win. But as we saw against Denver and Dallas and Milwaukee, that's not enough. Talent is not enough. If talent was enough, Brooklyn would have won with KD, Harden, and Kyrie Irving. So, I think we got beat, or we didn't get beat by Ty Lue, but we got outcoached so bad that we did end up wanting him as our head coach. So, I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know who's available. I don't know who we're interested outside of Ty Lue. I know there's some theories out there thinking Isaiah Thomas, because he's obviously got a close relationship with owner Matt Ishbia, who's been very aggressive. Matt Ishbia has initiated a lot of the moves he has made in his short reign as owner with the Suns. This KD trade would never have happened without Matt Ishbia. Sarver held back some of these moves with the Suns, but when Ishbia came in, he initiated that trade for KD, and he was calling the shots. He is an aggressive owner, and honestly, some people don't like it. I like it because he's very involved, but he's doing the right things. I don't like an owner who's overstepping their power and not doing the right things with it. They're just abusing their power as owner. And Sarver did that. Matt Ishbia's doing it, but he's doing good things with it. And after we suffered a humiliating loss again against Denver, some big changes had to be made in the Valley, and it all started with Monty Williams. So, again, I don't know how much I can emphasize this, but I want people to know that I am not against Monty Williams. Monty Williams is a good coach, but he's not good enough to get us a ring. So, that's going to be it. I'm sure we'll have plenty of news over these coming days. I don't know if we can start hiring guys or what have you, but this was I kind of saw this coming, especially after we started offloading some scouts and some front office members yesterday. So I don't know. We'll see. We've got an interesting offseason ahead for the Phoenix Suns. So thank you, and have a good rest of your day.